Hey everybody, this is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to show you how to fly a mini quadcopter. This one is called the Cheerson CX-10. It costs about $18 on Amazon. You can also buy this from China, which will cost you about $14 to $18, but it will take about 3.5 weeks to arrive. Just turn it on, turn on this. It'll beep twice. You gotta flip it up, the throttle. It'll beep once, and then flip it back down, it'll beep once again. This is the throttle. Press down on the throttle, it'll make 2 beeps. That means this side is medium sensitive. It doesn't affect this side when it does the beep. It does not turn faster. You do it on the 3rd beep, and this side will be the highest sensitivity, but then it doesn't affect the throttle or the rotation. If you want to do trimming, if it's not hovering right and it's going forward, you want to trim it back like that. And if it's going towards the right, you want to trim it back left. You push left on this trim. Usually you don't need much trimming as long as you place it on a level surface and then you start from there. I can actually make it turn in place. I can make it go left, right, forward, back. Ow. It does hurt if it hits, it won't cut you. If it ever goes out of control and not stabilized, one last special function of this, you just push the throttle to the lower left hand corner and the front back left right to the upper right. It starts blinking, you let it finish blinking, and now it's calibrated. You want to put this on a flat surface first before you do the calibration. Now you can fly up. So first, learn to hover, keep it in the same spot. Riding a bike, you have forward and brake, right? So this is like the throttle. And you have left, right, which is this one, left, right. But now you have 2 more things you have to control instinctively, which is to rotate and also forward, back. This quadcopter requires you to control 4 things at the same time. At first, when you're controlling it, you'll have to think. It might take you like 2-3 seconds or maybe even 5 seconds before you can go, oh, it's going this way. Oh, I gotta push left on the trigger in order to make it go back because it's gonna start drifting this way. You're like, oh no, what do I do? What do I control to make it go back? And you have to be very sure of it that you're going the right way because you don't want to keep on going the wrong way and then you'll make it worse, right? If you're going this way and you make it go that way more, it's gonna crash into something. The idea of learning how to fly is you have to control all 4 things, and you'll notice that the reaction time will get smaller and smaller as you practice. You have to get it to a point where it's natural within a split second that whenever that happens, you can correct for it right away. After you hover in space, you want to try to turn it a little bit. So this is, the back is this way, and you have to be able to go forward, back, left, right. So I'm not going forward, back, left, right as if I'm always standing behind it, right? Like as if I'm on the quadcopter. If I turn it this way, I have to change my perspective. So this is 3rd person flying here. If I make it go up, and I can make it, it's out of batteries already. When you're hovering, you need a certain amount of throttle, right? Sometimes if you go, oh no, I want it to come down, I tended to just cut the throttle. If you cut the throttle, it'll just fall out of the sky, like immediately. If you want it to come down a little bit, just reduce the throttle by like a smidgen, just like a tiny bit, and then it'll start coming down. You need to make sure you have a little throttle at all times. Once you learn how to hover, turn the quadcopter a little bit and get comfortable at the 45-degree position like this. Once you are, practice the 45-degree the other way, and then you'll be ready for the 180. See, I'm not too good at it. And then finally, you can practice by having it face towards you. Just kind of hover in space. Whenever you rotate it one way, just kind of hover it and don't make too big a movement so that you'll get used to it. Of course, you want to start off at the easiest level, just the 1 beep one, so that big movements in here translate to little movements here. And when you do turn it, 45-degree, whatever which way to practice the 3rd person view, you want to make little adjustments until you're more comfortable correcting for any kind of shifts. After you know how to do all these directions, then you can try to do circles, right? If you want to do tight circles, you go forward, just forward a little bit, and then you turn. You turn the quadcopter like that. Okay. Sometimes if you go really fast, you have to actually add more throttle, because when you are going one direction really fast, you need to add more power in order to stay level. If you're just doing a very slow circle, you may not notice it losing power, but like if you go a very abrupt speed, let's say it's going this way, and you keep the same throttle and it goes this way, it's gonna tend to go like that. So in order to compensate, you need to add a little bit of throttle while going this way so that it would go straight. Same thing with the circle. You gotta add a little throttle so that it'll go around in circles. Like that. Okay, and then if you like the clockwise way, now then you do the counterclockwise. Okay. And then you can do like, you know, pretend you're in Star Wars and just kind of like go left, right, like that. Okay, so it's out of batteries. That kind of gives you an idea. The whole time I was recording, so I can tell you how long it actually lasts. I've charged this about 30 times already, so it's not at its peak. I kind of don't like the 3D flip function because it's pre-programmed maneuvers, right? I'm not doing it myself, so I want to do it myself. What I found out is you can actually make it go on the most sensitive mode. You just push it forward so it's banking as hard as possible one way. You have to add quite a bit of throttle. Right after it starts banking, don't let it keep on going because you're relying on the rotational inertia of this thing. So rotate it, punch the power, and then once it's going like this, you kill the power for like half a second or 1 second, and then it would continue flipping. When you kill the power, it'll just keep on going because the quadcopter is no longer trying to compensate itself in order to hover. So once you kill the power, it'll just keep on flipping, and when you bring the power back up, it would try to right itself. If you leave this not pushing anywhere, it will try to right itself and try to hover again. So in that sense, you kind of made it flip on your own, which is great. Let's see if I can show you. There we go. I don't know if you saw that one. It's not flying quite well right now. You see, when you crashed it a lot, it just kind of flies very erratically. This is not me doing that. I'm trying to compensate and make it stay as steady as possible. So that's all I have for you today. The Cheerson CX10, it has a 100 milliamp hour battery. When I use a smart charger, it actually says it only has about 85, 90 milliamp hours. I charged it about 50 times already. And the orange one, the CX10, I've used it about 50 times, and now it's down to about 65 milliamp hours. So even though it's treating it very well, it's charging it at only 1C, which means it's charging at 100 milliamp hour. It's just babying it, and it still degrades in the amount of capacity. It's really cool that it's so cheap and you can use it as a platform to learn how to fly. And then you go and buy the $1,000 DJI Phantom or whatever, right? And then you fly those. And if you ever get in trouble flying those, right? If you're flying first person view, right? If you get in trouble, you can take off your goggles, or if there's an interruption of transmission, you just take them off and then you can fly third person. So third person is actually harder to fly. That's why I chose to fly, and to see if I can do it. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you learned something. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a like down there and comment if you have a question about flying. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel somewhere over here. Thanks for watching.